Hello, my dear second QC students. Welcome to session 8, chapter 13, Organisms and Populations. Let me brief you what I completed or explained in my previous class. In my past two classes, I started up with interactions, interspecific interactions, and we studied mutualism. And in previous class, we studied predation and parasitism. So today's class, we will go through the next type of interspecific interaction. So let me share the screen and start today's class. Hope you are ready with your book and pen. Dear students, if you recall, I had shown you a table or a chart depicting the type of interaction, that is this chart, species A and species B. So according to this chart, which is depicting all the interspecific interactions, we have completed mutualism or symbiosis with 5 examples and sexual deceit employed by Mediterranean orchid. We also completed predation, various animals and plant examples also we studied in that. Parasitism also studied with examples. So the pending one are competition, commensalism and amensalism. Competition, commensalism and amensalism. So today we'll complete these 3 interactions. To see competition. Competition, if you see both the species, it's given minus and minus. Yes, my mind also took a pause when I saw both side minus, because when we see a competition in school or any cricket match or any other match, one will be the winner, the other one will be the loser, isn't it? One should be plus and the other one should be minus. But actually competition means, if we go into the detailed meaning of the word, we'll come to know 2 equal participants will be there. Once if India wins, the other time it will be Pakistan, it will be Australia or something like that. So both are having the chances to win and lose. Okay, so both organism we are depicting or representing with minus symbol. And commensalism, I'll come to that later. Yeah, commensalism. So today's class will start up with commensalism, then we'll go to competition, and finally we'll end up with amensalism. Commensalism, if you see this table now. If you see this table, commensalism, one species is getting plus, means benefit, the other one is 0. 0 refers to neutral. That means neither harmed nor benefited. Means prayojnanu illa, lossu illa, atara. Okay, so no, not affected. We'll see with some examples, then we'll come to know what exactly it means. It's a type of interspecific interaction in which one species is benefited while the other species is neither benefited nor harmed. Very, very important. We'll go with the examples one by one. So definition is very, very important from the examination point of view. The first example is growth of orchids. Orchids, as I said, they are not exactly the flowers, okay? They're not exactly the flowers. It is, for time being, you can just keep it as a type of flower. Orchids, actually, they are called as epiphytes. Epi means above, phyta means plant. That means these plants, ಈ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ಮರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದರ ಗಿಡದ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೆಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತದೆ. These plants are found grown on other trees or other plants. That's why they are called as epiphytes. There are the terms like hydrophytes, which live in water, xerophytes, which live in arid condition, etc. Likewise, we have epiphytes also. So now these orchids or the flowering plants, what according to you, are found growing on mango tree. Now here mango tree, you can take it as 0, because for mango tree, if these epiphytes grow on them or they do not grow on them, no effect. ಆ ಮಾವಿನ ಮರದ ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ಎಪಿಫೈಟ್ಸ್ ಬೆಳೆದ್ರು ಏನು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಬೆಳೆದೇ ಇದ್ರು ಏನು ಪ್ರಯೋಜನ ಅಲ್ಲ ಯಾರಿಗೆ, ಮಾವಿನ ಮರಕ್ಕೆ. But for this orchids, they are getting benefited by having shelter. Orchids ಗಳಿಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೆಯೋದಿಕ್ಕೆ ಜಾಗ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. Orchids are benefited by getting shelter while the tree is neither benefited nor harmed. Hope the concept is clear for you now. See, this is the mango tree, and you can see this orchid growing on the mango tree. Okay, and you can see its roots are long and hanging because they absorb the moisture and grow. Orchids ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ತೇವಾಂಶನ ಅಬ್ಸಾರ್ಬ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬೆಳೀತದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಣ್ಣಿಂದ ನೀರ್ ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸಿ ಆನ್ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ, okay, orchids growing on other trees, especially we are mentioning here as mango tree. So here mango is 0, whereas orchids are plus because they are getting shelter. You can take a screenshot of this. Moving on to the next slide, a very common scene or picture what you can get. Even you can see while traveling, you can see this same scene when a farmer is plowing his field. ಒಬ್ಬ ರೈತ ನೇಗಿಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ನೆಲ ಉಳ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಈ ತರ ಸೀನ್ ನ ನೀವು ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ cattle egrets. Now if I ask what are these white color birds, whenever I used to ask these birds what are these birds, most of them used to tell, sir, they are cranes. Kokkare anta heloru. No, they are not cranes, rather they are egrets. So these egrets I am putting plus mark, whereas cattle and I am putting 0, neutral. When these cattle are grazing and browsing are two different things. Grazing andre ನೆಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ಮೇಯೋದು. They are eating from the ground. When they graze and when the roots are uprooted, the roots of the grass is uprooted, small insect and other grubs they pop out. ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಹುಳಗಳು, ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಗಳು ಪಾಪ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನ these egrets will eat. So by the presence of these egrets, there is no benefit nor harm for the cattle, but for the egrets, ಈ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳಿಗೆ benefit ಇದೆ, because the hidden or the camouflaged insects under the grass, they will come out so that these birds can easily locate them and feed on them. I'll show you a video how exactly these birds feed on the insects or the grubs. Dear students, now you can see a cattle and few egrets there, and cattle is busy with grazing, and you can see what these egrets are doing. You can just observe the egrets are waiting for the right moment, and whenever, yeah, you can see there, whenever the insects pop out from the grass, they easily pick and feed on those insects. ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ತಿದ್ದಂಗೆ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು, ಅದು ಹುಲ್ಲು ಮೇಯಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಆ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ ಈಚೆ ಪಾಪ್ಔಟ್ ಆಗಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಅದು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಆ ಎಗ್ರೆಟ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಕಂಡಿಡಿದು ಅದನ್ನ ತಿನ್ನುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ದ ಬರ್ಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್, whereas the cattle is neither benefited nor harmed. So this relation is called as commensalism. Okay, you got the idea, I believe. So this slide you can take as a screenshot. I'll move to the next example of commensalism. So two examples we studied. One is epiphytes, orchids as epiphytes on mango tree. The second one is relationship between cattle egrets and the cattle. Now third one is barnacles growing on the back of whale. Whale is the largest mammal which is found in the sea water, and on the body of these whales we can see the arthropods or the crustaceans growing on the back of the whale. Here the crustaceans are sedentary forms, so they are getting benefited by the movement of the shark from one place to other, so that they can get good nourishment and food from place to place because they are non-motile, whereas the whale is neither benefited nor harmed. ಆ ವೇಲ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬೆಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರುವ ಈ ಕ್ರಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಆರ್ಥ್ರೋಪೋಡ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಇಂದ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಗೆ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮೂವ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಅನಿಮಲ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಜಾಗಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದಂಗೆ ಊಟ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ವೇಲ್ಗೆ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಲಾಸು ಇಲ್ಲ. ವಿಲ್ ಸಿ ದ ಇಮೇಜಸ್. See, the first one is the barnacles. Okay, the first one is the barnacles. These are the barnacles, and you can see here they are grown on the back of whale. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ವೇಲ್ ಮೇಲ್ ಮೈ ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಲ್ಲಿನ ತರ ಇದೆ. They looks like rocks. They are the collection of barnacles that are grown on the back of whale. So whale is whale is neutral in the sense it's neither benefited nor harmed. But if we see the barnacles, they are getting benefited. Got? Can take a screenshot. I'll move to the next slide. Clownfish living among sea anemone. Fourth point, very, very important. Clownfish living among sea anemone. Now, sea anemone is an animal belonging to phylum Coelenterata. And whenever we speak about Coelenterata, the first point, they are having nidoblast nematocyst for protection, offensive and defensive in function. So, our tentacles nematocyst irtade, it may be poisonous. So, with the help of tentacles, it will attack the other animals and it will feed on. Okay. Now, if you see, if any fish comes towards the sea anemone will attack with the tentacles and eat it. But only this clownfish, the clownfish is actually very mild fish. This fish is a easy target for other predators. If fish na bere predators easy ag tinbidtave. So what happens? This fish is found among the tentacles of sea anemone. A tentacles of sea anemone alle odadಕೊಂಡು irtade adu. So in case if any other fish comes, the anemone attacks the other fish, not the clownfish. So here sea anemone is zero. It is neither benefited nor harmed by the presence of clownfish, whereas the clownfish is protected by getting protection by the sea anemone. So this is also very, very important. You can take a screenshot of this one. I'll try to show you a video of this sea anemone and clownfish relationship. Now dear students, you can see this is clownfish. This is clownfish and these are the tentacles of sea anemone, coelentrates. And you can see this fish spends most of its time between the tentacles of sea anemone. You can see. Right? Ee fish bandubiಟ್ಟು a sea anemone, coelenterate animal, the tentacles naduvene irtade most of the time. Got it? So this is the relationship between sea anemone and the clownfish. Okay, you can see here also. See, they are spending the time, most of the time, near the tentacles of the sea anemone. Here, sea anemone is neither benefited nor harmed, whereas these clownfish are benefited by getting protection. Okay, I'll move to the next slide. Dear students, I hope you took the screenshot of this slide because there are only 4 examples in commensalism. Definition 1 mark and 4 examples. No diagrams or photos are required. 1 definition and 4 examples are very, very important 5-mark question. Hope you took the screenshot. I'll move to the next interaction is competition. Competition, as I already discussed, species A is also minus and species B is also minus because as I said, 2 equal competent bodies are fighting for a resource. What is that we will discuss? It is defined as a process in which the fitness of one species measured in terms of its R, intrinsic rate of natural increase, is significantly lower in presence of other. This is a definition they have given. So you can go through it, and definition is very important 1-mark question, and we'll go through the other point. It's a type of interaction either between the individuals of the same species. I mentioned you earlier, there are 2 types of competition. One is in between 2 species. 2 species ಗಳ ನಡುವೆ ನಡೆಯುವಂತ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ನಾವು ಇಂಟರ್ಸ್ಪೆಸಿಫಿಕ್ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಒಂದೇ ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಒಳಗಡೆ 2 ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ಸ್ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಆಗುವಂತ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ನಾವು ಇಂಟ್ರಾ means within, inter means in between 2. Okay, so I'll show you one photo. So interspecific competition means in between 2 different species. Intra-specific competition means between the same species in between 2 individuals. Okay, I will see some examples. You can see the first one. This is between 2 reindeers. This one. Okay, this is intra. During mating season, the male may go for this type of competition. Okay, during mating season, this usually happens in this species. So, two individuals of the same species is having the competition there. So, that is called as intra-specific type of competition. Now, you see this side, the right side, there is a meat. There is a meat of some dead animal. There is a carcass of some other animal. There you can see lion is also there, and there is other species, hyenas. Okay, so that's why sometimes if you take this hyenas may win, or else sometimes this lion may win. Sometimes if there are more in number these hyenas, lion will leave that food and it will go off. So there is a competition for them for the food there. Two different species, interspecific competition. But here if you see in the first one, once this may win or the second time this may win. Understood? So this is the two types of competition. It can be a 2-mark question. Mention the two types of competition. Hope you are clear with this. I want you to take a screenshot. Once again, diagram is not required. Photo is not important. Here you can see another example for interspecific competition. There we saw in between two mammals only. Here you can see this fox, a different species of fox. It has predated on a rabbit and it is carrying, and in the meanwhile you can see an eagle comes and successfully tries to take away the prey from the other organism which has already predated. So this you can see, this is one species and eagle is another species. So this is an example for interspecific competition. I hope you people are clear with interspecific and intraspecific type of competition. I'll move to the next slide. There is a concept in interference competition. Interference competition. It can be a 2-mark question. The feeding efficiency of one species might be reduced due to the interfering and inhibitory presence of the other species, even if resources, that is food and space, are abundant. Food ಮತ್ತೆ ಜಾಗ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ಎರಡು ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ನಡುವೆ ಈ ತರ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಿವನ್ Abingdon tortoise and goat. They feed on the same thing, but Abingdon tortoise is a slow feeder, okay, and the other one is a very fast feeder. Okay, one species is a slow feeder, the other species is a fast feeder. So once if such things happens, there will be a direct competition between two different species which are competing for the same source, and this condition is called as interference competition. What? So you can just take a screenshot of this. We'll study about this Abingdon tortoise and goat once again. Okay. Now competition will also occur between completely unrelated species for the same resources. That's what I said. Two different species, that is interspecific. One good example they are given in shallow lakes of South America. In shallow lakes of South America, there will be a competition between the visiting flamingos. Flamingos are migratory birds here. They are not the local birds there. Okay, they come from elsewhere. They come to the water, and if I ask you, what does flamingos eat? Most of the students in my class, their answers are they will eat fish, because you will assume they look like crane, they will eat fish. No, flamingos are filter feeders. Flamingos are filter feeders. They feed only on microscopic animals called as zooplanktons. What are zooplanktons? Zooplanktons are microscopic animals found in water. So there is a competition between the native fish of that same water body and these visiting flamingos to eat that zooplanktons. These are the flamingos feeding on the zooplanktons. Flamingos' beak is modified in such a way that they can feed only on microscopic food, that is zooplanktons. They are filter feeders. Understood? They do not eat on fishes. So there is a competition, interspecific competition between flamingos and the native fishes for the same food, that is zooplanktons. These are some of the zooplanktons found in water. I want you to take a screenshot of this screen, and I will move to the next slide. Now there is one more concept. These 2 marks concepts are slightly difficult for you, okay? Competitive release is another evidence for competition phenomenon in which, due to the presence of competitively superior and fast and active species, a species whose distribution is restricted to a small geographical area expands to its distributional range on the experimental removal of the competing species. Means there is a superior species which has the ability to multiply fast, eat fast, multiply fast, and if this organism is in competition with a slow breeding and slow eating animal, and by chance if we remove that inferior organism from there, this fast or superior species has the ability to spread fast compared to its normal range to the other range, it can spread out very vastly. This mechanism or this phenomenon is called as competitive release. An example is given. Colonel's elegant field experiment showed that on rocky coast of Scotland, sea coast, Samudrada Tira, okay, sea coast of Scotland, the larger, okay, larger and competitively superior, fast, okay, powerful and okay, which can breed and eat fast. Superior barnacle called as Balanus dominates the intertidal area. Intertidal, see here, this area also and below this water layer also. Okay, so this superior barnacle Balanus dominates the intertidal area and excludes the smaller one, excludes the smaller species called as Barnacle cathamalus. This one, Barnacle cathamalus in that zone. So this phenomenon, in which due to the presence of competitively superior species, here is Balanus, Barnacle Balanus, and a species whose distribution is restricted to a small geographical area, expands its distributional range on the experimental removal of the competing species. If they remove this cathamalus for some time, this Balanus will spread and occupies that area. So this phenomenon is called as competitive release. Example is Colonel's elegant field experiments on Balanus and cathamalus barnacles. Please take a screenshot. This diagram is not required. The sentences and examples are very, very important. Once again, a very important definition. Gauss, competitive exclusion principle, means Gauss competitive exclusion principle, coexistence of jotege sahabalve, okay, coexistence, living together, coexistence of two closely related species competing for the same resource. It can be same food, same space, whichever you want. It is not possible. Coexistence of two closely related species competing for the same resource, it is not possible, but only when the resources are limited and not otherwise. This is a standard sentence or definition. I want you to go with the other definition for examination. Any one you can write, better go with the second one. This may find easy for you. I suggest you to go with this definition. Two closely related species competing for the same resource cannot coexist indefinitely. They cannot be together indefinitely. ಎರಡು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಸಹ ಬಾಳ್ವೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ದಿನ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. And the competitively inferior, the weaker one, will be eventually eliminated. ಯಾವುದು weak ಇದೆಯೋ ಅದು eliminate ಆಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ. So better go with the second definition for your examination. Read only one definition. Even while taking the screenshot and writing the definition, go only with this definition. We'll see the example again for this one, but before that we'll see what are the other characters of this point. It is because the competitively inferior one will be eliminated. Yeah, that's what in the definition it is there. It is also pointed out that the species facing competition might evolve a mechanism promoting coexistence rather than exclusion. See, if at all one species should not get eliminated, a one inferior species eliminate agbardu anta helidre, it should co-evolve and it should adjust and adapt and go along with that. Are you understanding? So coexistence is possible rather than exclusion. ಸಹಬಾಳ್ವೆಯಿಂದ ಇರಬಹುದು, but adaptation, adjusting ಇರಬೇಕು rather than getting exclusion. In Galapagos Island, that's what I said, the Abingdon tortoise, you know the speed of tortoise. We have studied the tortoise and the rabbit story, tortoise and the hare story, running race, right? So tortoise were found in this Galapagos Island. Galapagos Island ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಈ tortoise ಇರ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಅದು ಸ್ವಿಮ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಆಯ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ, because it is found in island. This were found only in Galapagos Island and they were not found elsewhere. And once when the travelers brought and introduced this goat, adu, okay, goat, adu, adana tandi bittaga, these goats, you know what all they will eat. What they will eat? They will eat everything almost, right? All the leaves and all. So there was a competition for them between Abingdon tortoise and these goats, because the browsing efficiency of goats was very much greater than that of the tortoise. As a result, what happened? This Abingdon tortoise got extinct. So I just want you to see this video, how that Abingdon tortoise and goats were there on this Galapagos Island. Dear students, on the screen you can see the Abingdon tortoise of Galapagos Island. So you can see it is a very slow feeder. It is a very slow feeder. It is not that much active. Idu Galapagos Island alli iruvanta tortoise. Now you can see these goats. They are very fast feeders and you can see the level where they can reach, and even they are feeding on the trees there. The feeding efficiency of the Abingdon tortoise was lesser compared to the introduced goats in this Galapagos Island. So now this is Gauss competitive exclusion principle. This slide is very, very important for you from the examination point of view. Okay, so take a screenshot of this. I'll move to the next slide. Dear students, there is another concept called resource partitioning division. Okay, if two species compete for the same resource, ಎರಡು ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಒಂದೇ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಕಾಂಪೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ they can avoid competition. ಅದು ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಬದುಕಬಹುದು. ಹೆಂಗೆ? by choosing different times for feeding. ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಹೊತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಬೇರೆ ತರ ಫುಡ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ತಿನ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬದುಕಬಹುದು. Definition is important. Example very important. I have highlighted MacArthur's 5 closely related species of warblers. Warblers are small sized birds. They are found living in coniferous forest. Coniferous tree nalli adu baduktave. So they live in the same tree successfully without any competition. But they have to change their time of foraging. Behavioral differences is there and the time of foraging is totally different, so that they can coexist. ಈ 5 ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾರ್ಬ್ಲರ್ಸ್ ಒಂದೇ ಮರದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ ಸಹಬಾಳ್ವೆಯಿಂದ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಏನಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅದರದ್ದು ಬಿಹೇವಿಯರಲ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಫೊರೇಜಿಂಗ್, ಊಟ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಟೈಮಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್, so these are the 5 different species of warblers and I am just showing, this is not there in your textbook. Here you can see this yellow color region is where these birds, okay, they live. Okay, here you can see this area, your tip. So even though there are 5 different species, they are able to live successfully in the same tree without any competition, because they have changed their behavioral habit and foraging activities. Assume early morning one species of birds go, like late morning another species, daytime another species, evening time and even night time. So exact times have not been mentioned, but these 5 different species of warblers, according to MacArthur, they live successfully or they coexist in the same tree by having behavioral differences in their foraging activities. Understood? So I want you to take a screenshot of this one. I'll move to the next and the last interaction of this topic, called amensalism. The last interaction, the last interspecific interaction and the last definition of this topic called as amensalism. This can be maximum asked for 1 mark because only one sentence is there for your examination. Nothing else is given in the textbook. Amensalism. Most of you will do the spelling mistake, but have a look on the spelling also. Type of interspecific interaction in which one species is harmed means minus and the other species is unaffected is 0. ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೀಶೀಸ್ಗೆ ನಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಲಾಸ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. One species is getting harmed, the other one is neither benefited nor harmed. There is no examples in the textbook, dear students, so I just took one example searching. So this is a big tree, and here below assume there are emerging small seeds or plants of other species, because this interaction is between two species. The species which is growing below here will not get sunlight nor absorption of water because of the presence of this tree. So this tree we can put 0. That means this tree is neither getting benefited nor harmed by the presence of those small plants. No effect. It grows on its own without caring. But the small plants present here, we will give them minus because they will not get sunlight nor water, and finally they get deleted, they get removed from that region. Okay, they cannot survive in that region. So minus for those small plants. Fine. So now, dear students, here I am ending up with session 8, chapter 13, a very, very important lesson from the examination point of view. All this interaction, even though it is very, very easy for you, students fail to put it on the paper. And once they ask a direct question, what is the relationship between clownfish and sea anemone, you will write something else. Easy answers, but slightly you have to think. I want you to do today's homework well, and I want you to revise the entire chapter. I hope you are doing writing daily homework. The entire chapter I want you to read, and I've said the important questions also. Study material is given to you. In the study material also, the important questions is marked which year it was asked, and important questions also has been given. Question paper also has been given. I want you to read and get ready for your examination. If at all parents are watching this class, please advise your child to do what I am saying now. Signing off. Thank you very much. Study well.